Check one, check one. All right. We're starting the showcast off, folks. Welcome to the Howard Experience Show. We're transmitting from Jeff's Pirates Cove out here in Talafofo, MINDHEAD session, MINDHEAD series with myself, Mr. Chris Shelton. We're all here, and we're going to be starting to talk real soon. Oh, wow. We also have the...
This is... Okay.
I want to be...
People are mad at me because I made a beetle nut out of the Guam seal. But that's what it's ended up. I mean, that isn't me. You know, that's just the irony or what was it?
Right? Wow. And we're on live, by the way, right now. Everybody, this is the owner of this fine establishment, Mr. Jeff. And he's getting a thumbs up already from people out there.
Heck yeah.
We're getting some t-shirts that he was sending us. I don't know if you guys can see this.
I love this.
But what does it say? Can you read it?
Mine says, I want to be corrupted.
This is what we have evolved to as far as I can see. You read the headlines every day, you listen to the media. I'm really upset about the 911 funding not finding its way to the system because I've actually had to call there and had them put me on hold or beat around the bush. And
wow.
You know, when people call there, that is like life-threatening sometimes, and car accidents on the road or people drowning or whatever. I mean, it has to be answered right away. And then to see the system has been there since 1999, and I can tell you more than once I've seen articles and things where the system was supposed to be improved, and a new system actually.
Oh, and I know from living out here for a long time that you've had so many numerous accidents right around the corner down here, and gosh.
Well, we had an average of about 30 or more accidents every year because the road was coral based, and when people hit the brakes in this corner, they would just slide into the poles mostly, or different off the road into other cars in circles. And one day there was a terrible accident where one of the local families, very predominant family lady, was on her way returning from bringing her kids to school, and she slammed into one of the poles.
Ouch.
And I had put these floats out there to divert direct hits to the poles because there was so many, potentially it seems like you go right at it. So this float I put around, like the ones that are floating in the ocean, would divert them, and luckily her Camry was diverted and swung around into the pole, but she was okay, she survived. And after that, several nice senators sponsored a bill, came up with $600,000, and then the road is now asphalt. Now we still have accidents, mostly from distracted drivers or speeders, or lately we have a lot of Asian visitors that can't drive well. Yesterday, one of my customers left here and was hit by a car going by because the Asian tourists don't have much sign language for us to show them, to tell them, look both directions, stop. You know, we need signage here that helps tourism.
Yeah.
So now this thing is asphalt. There's about maybe only 5 accidents a year. And, you know, my dream is to have one of those big radar things out front that shows how fast you're going.
Oh, yeah. So everybody that passes can see, hey, you're doing 45 or something.
And then have a camera that takes their picture. First I'll say slow down, and if they don't slow down, then have the camera take a picture and then get a ticket to them.
The check's in the mail.
The money can go to the government, the waste, but I want a commission for supplying the power and the camera. I mean, I will buy the equipment to do it because people drive by here all day now speeding. There's so few patrols on the roads now that it's gone crazy as far as the drivers can get away with so much.
And do you see that mostly in this side of the island? Or?
No, I see it everywhere.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at the statistics, how many people are on drugs driving around here?
Yeah.
You know, that speed and that ice and cocaine, that doesn't slow you down.
That's very true.
You know, it creates a whole new will to drive faster.
It's one hell of a drug.
Yeah.
And it's terrible the way these people getting caught can't remember to even have a current license plate registration, or, you know, sleep on the side of the road, or, you know, I mean, it just, we need a little bit more, you know, conscientious driving habits. There's no courtesy on the road on Guam, if you ever noticed that.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I don't, you know, see the radio announcers. Like, I was going to ask Ray Gibson if he could try to promote, you know, a better light driving things on the show and stuff
Come on,
like
Ray.
that, you know.
We need your help, buddy.
That
He's
would
probably
be
watching
good, you
right
know.
now.
Well, that'd
Ray's
be
probably
good, you know,
watching.
because we need to do more for the public with the radio, because, you know, a lot of people listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The whole point of kind of us talking together was we have to get the public involved. People need to wake up and participate properly in society.
Yeah.
You can't just shield yourself and pretend it's not me, and then get back out on the road and race to your destination and, you know, cut this way and that way.
Definitely.
You mentioned it's a societal thing, you know, the politeness, the just general courtesy. Me and you are here together, not just me or not just you.
People having a conversation like we're doing today, and again, like Chris said, it all starts with a conversation. It also starts with action, as you were talking about, and people waking up.
Well, you got to set a
And common
trend,
sense.
you know. You got to have a strong conscience for people to actually want to be nice to each other on this island. You see, you have so many different cultures living on Guam, coming in from all islands, coming in from Asia, coming in from the mainland, that there's no set culture that, you know, dominates, you know, what we should be feeling, you know.
Yeah, that's very true. Even if you walk through Tumon, you go through phases. You know, it's a little bit different on this side of the street back here than it is on that side of the street up there, and it's pretty cool. In one sense, it's fantastic that's all there. But it's a great point you make that nobody's like overseeing the populace, so to speak. It's when you're here, that's accepted, and when you're there, that's accepted. But we're all here. It's one small place, and something needs to be kind of
the government
the
should
way.
lead the way. The government should lead the way. The Visitors Bureau should be out on the street talking Korean and Chinese.
I agree.
And all the different languages to all the different tourists. We should clean up Tumon and try to give more of a pride of having everywhere clean, so maybe these homeless people could help clean up and, you know, make some use of them. You know, if you go to Tumon, I don't know if you know the history of Tumon Phase 1 and Phase 2.
No.
Okay, Tumon Phase 1 was a $50 million project to redo Tumon from half, I think it started out at the Nico down to about El Contra Mall. That was Phase 1, $50 million, right? Then Phase 2 was another $50 million from there all the way to the Hilton. So in that, we perceived, I mean, I as a public, that they would be cleaning up Tumon, putting in new sewage, putting in new drainage, putting in all the infrastructure and the roads and everything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so $100 million. No federal guidelines, no rules, okay?
Whoa.
Financing is paid back to
This
this
is real?
day. I never lie unless I'm in bed. You know, and I'm sitting up, right? But anyway, so this money was all spent, okay? The loan is paid back by Guam Visitors Bureau. Now, 3 times already I've seen them redo the cobblestones. They have lost sewer lines over there. The drainage is terrible. People cannot even fathom, you know, what it was supposed to be to how it's ended up. So that $100 million was basically a big political BS where somebody got the political money and the contractor got his money, did a terrible, lousy, typical GG standard of a job.
Yep.
And you got water lines leaking down there all the time. And, you know, I would think if something leaked all the time, they would go to the trouble to dig it up and put some housing around there and monitor it.
Yeah.
I see them
Figure
digging
out
up
where
that same place across from the reef all the time.
Yeah.
You know, when the water goes out in Tumon, the restaurants have to close down.
Yep.
What happens to the hotels? I mean, when you don't have water, you got problems.
Yeah.
And water here with me is one of my biggest problems right now. From the pressure up and down to the iron in the water to the calcium and the limestone and the ice machines. And you know, I've had my water bill like 2 months ago was $2,600.
Whoa.
I have spent almost $20,000 putting in an RO and complete water
You need
purification
filtration
system
and all that, right?
to take out all the
Impurities that
things
get
that are being delivered
put
to
in.
me from the government.
Yeah.
So they tell me I'm on the end of a 12-inch water main that's just totally rusted out.
Yeah, but like you said, so there's hundreds of millions of dollars appropriated to fix these sort of things.
Yeah.
But
Where is it going?
Well, when I get my $2,600 water bill,
Yeah.
I figure I'm paying for these compliance projects getting ready for the military buildup. So you take, here's a great one.
no.
The Baza Gardens treatment plant
Yeah.
has not operated for years right. It's still manned. It has polluted this whole reef over here from the river all the way both sides of the coast.
What?
And we have algae blooms and we have environmental problems like crazy because of that treatment plant not doing its job right. To this day, the effluent comes in here.
Wow.
Okay, so the solution, all right, we're gonna dig a trench across Guam all the way to Agate, and we're gonna take all that there, and we're gonna take the runoff from the landfill there,
That just
and we're
doesn't
gonna
even-
do these huge, costly projects, and they have, of course, they have to be bonded, and that becomes part of my water bill. So I know I'm paying a lot for water, but I'm also paying a lot for decisions that I think are terrible. You should fix this plant. The plant actually, if you were to privatize what you're going to do with these treatment plants and everything else, it would probably be 10 times cheaper than having government of Guam involved.
It would have to be completed within a budget and within a time frame.
Right, and it would have to be done right. Of course, we need to establish people here that can judge what's right and wrong, because obviously the government cannot figure it out if it's a lot of expertise involved.
Special counsel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
hire
that's so
more
true.
people to come in and help. But I mean, the whole thing is here, nobody wants outside help. That's the biggest
Yeah, that's
problem.
right. This is the place
Let's
to be.
just
You
make
get
this
the funds
guy,
and
he's
nobody
the
polices
politician,
you.
he's the one that should get all the money and his gang, but let's never bring in anybody that's an expert at everything
Yeah.
that we do. Take the
Wow.
power plant.
Yeah.
How
Oh,
about,
man.
first, I wonder,
There's
the
a
main
new
thing
one.
is, why are we going to put the power plant up in a population area next to the mall,
I have
next
a
to
bunch
the
of questions
shopping
about that,
center?
too.
You're going to have to put in all these tanks and underground lines. And what about the traffic? Isn't the traffic like from Tumon up to Jigo and Dedido the worst ever? And when the buildup comes, isn't it even going to get worse?
Yeah.
And I
we're
love-
going to put the power plant in the middle, so people back and forth to work at the power plant are going to be late. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and you know they'll come. Well, it's not as bad as Los Angeles. What does that have to do with anything?
Don't compare us with anybody. First
That's
of
what
all,
I mean. This is your own unique place in the universe,
Yeah.
man, and you're in control of it. You have the reins, and you're not steering the horse in the right direction.
Well, the power plant is another one where if the university wasn't so political, we could have them lead studies on things. But they're so political, they can't do anything right either.
No.
But Guam needs somebody to come here that knows all about energy, sees everything here, the layout of the island, the resources, and everything we have, and come up with a plan. Maybe we need 2 power plants, right? One in the north, one in the south. Maybe
Yeah.
we need to use solar more. Maybe the tide
Combination
action.
thereof, maybe.
Yeah.
The tide action was talked about decades ago
Yeah.
when I was talking about it.
To me, that's the
Micronesian
answer.
Conservation
When you don't
Society.
have wind and you don't have everything else,
You got
the
tides.
tide never stops
That's right.
twice a day. You
Yeah.
figure out how to harness that, and you'll be doing it.
And that
Yeah.
technology exists
It does
today.
It's I think it's in play off the coast of San Diego, isn't it?
San Diego, there's some European countries that
Hawaii's
use it.
working with some
Hawaii.
projects on that. It needs to just
Of course
be
it
taken to
needs
the
to-
next step, you know.
As does everything, but that's the point. I think that's the point. We're societally ready for these improvements, but we can't seem to implement them.
No,
It's
impossible.
so difficult to implement a positive change,
Well, who's
and
willing?
I don't know why that is.
But who's willing to do the change? Who's willing to push the change? And who's willing to go out on a limb and make these things happen in leadership? Because that's kind of where this whole road
That's
is
what
leading
Guam's
to.
been looking for decades, though, is somebody to lead it,
Yeah.
not just.
Was Guam always
Oh,
like
yeah.
this? You know?
He's made a
Well,
run.
what happened
Tell us a
here
story.
is, you know, you had the military governors and you had everybody pretty much taken care of and satisfied. The power plant was run by the Navy. That's why I'm here. My dad brought me here because he worked at the power plant. There weren't many complaints about everything. It worked really smooth. Then when the government of Guam got involved, here came the whole Powry syndrome of you're first,
Yep.
you're first because we're related. Everybody else can go sit down there in the bleachers and vote for us because we're going to promise them everything,
Yeah.
right? Don't forget to promise everything. That's important.
Don't forget to
Of
promise.
course, that's,
Yeah.
they learn from the best.
Yeah.
I mean,
It started
the
with
American
Magellan.
system is bad, bad out of whack, and what
Free
scares me
healthcare
is
for everybody.
Well, what scares me is that nobody sees it as such. It's a system that they live and work in, and they want to perpetuate it because they just get the flow of money.
Yeah.
Whatever they struggle for is just going to be given to them anyways. However it comes, it's coming. Be it big or small, but they get their hands on it
They got a
first.
piece.
And nobody says otherwise. And I don't know that serves anybody well.
It serves the ones in office
Except the
well,
people who receive
and
the
political. I mean, politics these days is pretty wild, anyways. Because
Sure is.
first of all, they have these races so close, half the people lose. Right?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I agree
Can't
with
anybody
that
be
too.
popular enough till most people could be benefited by them?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how it
This
should
whole
work.
That's right.
demo and repo is bullshit. You know, it's
Yeah.
really, you know, it's dividing us all the
need
time.
to see,
You know,
we the people need to see beyond that, because listen, as long as the Democrats are fighting the Republicans, the same people just stay there. And look at the United States Senate. As long as everybody's so divided that they can't pick a clear winner, nothing changes for these cats.
Yeah.
They stay in the cat seat, catbird seat. Man, I'm front center. I'm captain of this ship.
Okay.
Nobody can decide to vote me out, so I stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not really the way it was designed to work, and it certainly doesn't serve the people well. I don't.
It hasn't. I think it's taken a turn for the worse, and we're in the situation we're in Guam as well as other parts of Western society. So,
well, what has to change is the way we elect people.
I agree.
First of
And
all,
term
if
limits.
Chris wanted to run or you wanted to run, you should be publicly funded. Okay?
Yeah.
You should have interviews like you guys do right now with me. You should be able to have all the candidates come in and sit down and talk about things, and all these should be broadcast to people, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Also, I'm kind of
I
a
agree with
believer
that.
that we should have a voting machine in our house. We
I'm
have
for
all
that.
these passwords, we have
Yeah.
all these different apparatuses like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But the trouble is here, there's too many cheats.
Yeah, how could you?
You look at an opinion in the government, I mean not the government, but the Guam Pacific Daily News. And they'll have anything political in here, will change it from the lousy 200 or 300 participants they usually get to 14,000.
Yeah.
Go for, the politician or anything that's political. People learn how to jam into
It's a
there
rigged
and
poll.
change everything. But I believe that you could put safeguards on your house electronics and they would help you to vote. Everybody. So this is real democracy, you know what I
Yes,
mean? You
yeah,
want to
yeah.
talk about fishing, you want to talk about the power plant, and you inform them first. Here, it's all lies.
Yeah.
You know, there's no truth on Guam. You ever notice that?
Yes,
Only
I
on
did.
Guam.
No, it's
I know
all
you-
politics, you know. I mean, you listen to everybody's opinion on something like President Bush.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna have he's the worst, he's the best. You
Yeah.
know, it's all structured by what you know. And of course, now the media is getting beat up because Bush is kind of right. They have changed things to where the slant is where they want it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's super easy to see by just changing the channel who's on what side, and it shouldn't be like that at all.
Yeah.
I got
You should
customers.
have no idea.
They come here, they won't watch CNN. They won't watch Fox.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because
You
they're
know,
one way or the
yeah,
other.
Yeah. They're a demo or a repo.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
And like my grandma used to say, what's the difference? One's in and one's out.
One's
That's
in,
the
one's
only
out.
difference between the two parties.
One's making money and one's not.
One's in and one's
Ain't
out.
that the truth?
Well, you have probably seen 40 years of change around here? How long have you been?
I came here 55 years ago when I was 14. I ran for governor in 1986 with Bill Roth as an independent.
I wasn't
Oh,
here
nice.
yet,
We
but
didn't
I got
make
here
it.
in 89.
And that was because at the time we felt that we were going to end up where we're at right now. The government took over all the people's money, burned it on all what they ever wanted to do, have 12,000, 13,000 employees, but not enough in essential jobs like
Yeah, how
bus
about
drivers
tax increases? Tax.
well, the tax
everything's
increase
in here.
is another facade to, okay,
For sure, it's like giving an active shooter more bullets.
Guam luckily gets all the income tax paid, right?
That's
No
right.
state gets that.
That's right.
Nobody
Yeah.
gets that. So our government has learned how to use all that money to just bloat itself.
That's right.
Right? Hire more people, make the government bigger, satisfy your political
Positions,
agenda.
departments,
Yeah, yeah,
regulations.
yeah. So now Trump says, okay, we're going to reduce people's taxes, right? By 2% or whatever because, you know, we want them to have more income out of their taxes.
Right.
But on Guam, because we depend on all that tax money, that means our government takes the hit.
That's right.
Because they've been spending it like crazy, which they should have been stashing it away to make refunds and do
That's-
the things they
yeah,
should be
my
doing,
point.
right?
Schools.
Sure. The roads, everything that the hospital needs should be done. So now, it's a big fear thing. We don't have $67 million. Oh, let's close
And
down a
Trump's the
fire
bad guy.
station. Let's close a fire station. Let's close a police station. Let's stop.
We got to
the
cut back
poll.
patrols.
Let's close the pool.
Yeah.
The Dededo pool.
And in the meantime, the government will call a holiday that will cost $600,000, $1 million
For
anytime
one
they
day.
feel like it. Yeah. Of course, who's really working anyways? On the holidays, if they had them work, they'd just do half a day of mapus.
Yeah.
They're down here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where
I hope so.
pirates go. Chilling with some beer.
Well, this is the place to go.
This
I've
is the
liked
place
this
to
place
be.
for as long as I've been here. Oh man.
Amazing. So we got elections this year, Jeff. What do you think?
I think we better have some more candidates running for governor because nobody's going to privatize the power. Nobody's going to privatize the water. Doesn't look like the roads are going to get the adequate income or the, the roads should all be fixed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
The federal money is
Didn't we
there.
go an extra mile by installing medians that really don't help Guam just in order to keep all those highway funds coming to us?
Well,
It's a basic.
the whole thing is,
That closed businesses on Marine Drive. I was here when that
no,
happened.
it hurt. There's lots of decisions made here that are never thought about the repercussions for the businesses. It's all, driven by what we think we should do. And that isn't always necessarily right.
It should be. Yeah.
But if you look at the road thing, the money is supposed to come from the gas tax. That money should be continually at work fixing roads, but not letting the government of Guam fix the roads.
Lord knows
Get a
we pay
real
the gas tax.
contractor, get somebody out there that can do it expeditiously, even the permitting.
Yes, I agree.
Public Works is so understaffed, and if you went down there and did a study, it would
Yeah.
just blow your mind. You know what I mean? Because it's just like all these agencies, they have money, it's just not spent the way it should
That's
be.
right. They do something else with it, and
And if you go tell these private companies,
Some-
like to me, they should take all the asphalt companies Nippon, Hawaiian Rock, Smith Bridge, Rocky Mountain, all of them, and say, okay, we're going to do this whole island.
You got the Northeast, you got the
Yeah, we're gonna
Northwest,
do
you
the
got
whole
the Southeast,
island.
you got the Southwest. Do it.
We're going to do it right. We're going to put in sidewalks. We're going to put in proper, drainage. And in our sidewalks,
Lighting.
my dream is to say, okay, let's put all the infrastructure for the power,
Underneath the sidewalks,
water,
not the roads.
telephone, everything under the sidewalk, and then be able to get to it from some.
Instead of digging up the freshly paved highway.
They do this some
I've
places.
seen it.
When
I've
I saw
watched
them
it
doing
happen.
Cross Arm Road, the thought that went through my mind is, well, why aren't they burying these power lines? Because, every typhoon,
They're out.
the weight of those
Wow.
lines breaks those poles, snaps them right off,
Yeah, yeah.
And here they are digging a trench that's going to cost $70 million to ag it,
Oh,
and they're not
man.
putting anything in there but the sewer.
Oh.
They bring in engineers, they bring in archaeologists, they bring in everybody to do it right, but
And
they're
then
not
leave stuff
putting
out.
everything in there.
That's a good point. If you're making that kind of an effort to dig the trench, is the only thing we're putting in there
Yeah.
sewage? Why can't we pair that up with? Oh man, I don't know why they can't think of that.
So elections here, Jeff, and everybody in Guam writes your name in.
Yeah,
As
I get a lot of
governor.
write-ins. That's good. That's what you should do. You write in Jeff, and
you
I hope
have-
the election commission accepts that, and then I'll win, and there won't be any problem with who won.
What are you gonna
If
do?
20,000. What am I gonna do?
What are you going to do? Tell the people at home what you're going to do, man. You got it. You got the key.
I'm gonna privatize it. I'm gonna take those government jobs and those employees and turn them into private sector
sector
employees,
employees.
so they pay tax to the government instead of being a burden to the government.
Nice.
And if you're good, you'll keep your job. And if you're not, you can go up to Saipan or wherever else you want to go. I
What a
mean,
concept.
it's like you have to get away from all this familiar work ethic that has reduced the efficiency to 50%. Even look at Department of Education, the biggest one of all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take that funding and you get, I think it's called Emerson or one of these private companies that come in here and administer your money. The money in education doesn't go to teachers.
No.
Yeah.
It goes to all these people that are just kind of doing their
Siphoning
daily
off.
50% worth, The teachers need that. If
Yeah.
they're good teachers, they need even better.
Well, it's like you said. It's. I think it's probably government wide. It's not just the DOE.
Yeah,
It's everybody's in there doing their 50% for their
Well,
100%
it's become
paycheck.
a way of life.
Yeah.
Okay? It has gone on so long, and I'm telling you,
Well,
nobody running right now is going to change it.
I was talking to James in the car on the way down. I said, the one weakness of humans, amongst our many, many strengths, one of our weaknesses is, as humans, we rarely do anything we don't have to do. As a group of people, if you're not forced to make a change, you don't make a change. Humans just don't do that. There's a few people that are internally driven, want to wake up every morning and do something. But the vast majority of people are externally driven, need motivation, don't see why what they're doing matters, or just
Yeah.
need something to help themselves or their family for later on this week or month.
And that should start in school.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I have kids come down here on field trips. They know so little about the ocean or the history of this island, or anything to allow them to create an interest. And then you want to make it here so people stay here.
This is a magical
when they
place.
finish high
I
school.
love this place.
Well, but we had what we called the brain drain
Yeah.
years
Yes.
ago, when the politicians just kind of, kicked out the military, made things like so hard on people that wanted to be here.
Yeah.
There's more Chamorros in the States than there are on Guam.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people here go, "Oh, I'm glad they're back there. I'm glad." I don't like that attitude,
Yeah.
I want everybody to be able to live here in their home,
Come home. Yeah.
And the schools here, people apply for a job on Guam and they look at what they got to deal with here. It's not worth coming here for a lot of people,
Yeah.
The military set up their own schools, set up their own housing, set up everything themselves. They would love to help this government get better, but the military realizes too that this
That
is
giving
just
them money
a
is a
pit
waste
you can
of
throw
time.
your money into.
Yeah, that's right.
And just forget about it,
Ouch.
It's like buying the old sailboat.
Ouch.
Wow.
Utterly amazing.
Love this place.
Well, how do we change it? You know, that's what it takes. And I'm telling you, it takes the media to get together and allow people to get on the same page. I mean, you might read one paper or listen to one radio station, and that's it. So all this other stuff that goes on, you don't really know
That's
about,
right.
you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And when Guam was small, there was only KUAM, you know, and everybody would listen to KUAM or
Yeah.
K57, KATB when I worked there.
Uh-huh.
And you had a really nice, you know, everybody there, but now it's all spread out, you know, so it's hard to educate people, it's hard to tell people. And this
It is,
political
you're right.
signage and these waves and these motorcades, and, you know, that is really, really degrading.
It is
Because all these people get in office and don't do anything.
and they're
Yeah.
cheering for people, but these same people are responsible for the state of affairs currently. It's not like these are all new candidates running. Even if everybody, are there new candidates running? Isn't every single candidate either
there's-
has been involved previously
I
or
think
you know,
there's-
is currently involved now?
8 senators that are actually leaving office either to be governor or they're just leaving office. So you have a nice open window for new blood. And I believe the last pickup for the applications
Packets.
was at 68, if I'm not mistaken. People new blood trying to get in and do their mark.
I haven't heard any of them say they're going to do anything
That's what I mean.
concrete.
It sounds like they're just
Let's say, okay,
filling
I
the
want to
next position.
privatize the plant. They don't. They were afraid to lose all those votes. You know, the power plant is the biggest political quandarium of nothingness and blank
Well,
banging heads that you've ever imagined.
Man, I'm telling you, the funds, the handling of funds, you know, anywhere where there's leeway left to the system, and I'm in control. The big boss, the federal government says, okay, there's this amount of money, and you got to make it happen. Okay, great. Now I got my hands on it. Cool. They're out of it.
Yeah.
Now I get to look at it, and things like the price of fuel and things that fluctuate, I get to play with. That's a variable in my equation. You know what I mean? That could be an extra 100,000 here or there for whomever I see fit, and it's justified by any number of things.
You just can't imagine when they buy fuel for the power plant.
Yeah.
What really happens and how much money was really spent. You don't know.
And it's not like that.
And,
it's
and
not,
there's no transparency to tell you, oh, this month we paid, $4.80 a gallon.
That's what I
We
mean.
don't know that.
Did
As
we-
a residents here, we
Yeah.
don't know what went on.
And did we negotiate that price?
Right.
Or are we just going in going,
No, you're paying the same guy.
That's right. You
There's
just freaking
brokers and people that are
Yeah.
in there. Everybody's getting a spiff. I mean,
That's right.
the way it rolls.
yeah.
you know. That's okay in some sense as long as there's change, but when there's never change, then it's not okay, because now it's, you're approaching, oligarchy. I mean,
Well, we're in a spiral. We're definitely in a spiral.
Well,
And
so instead of running out of money, which should happen, they increase the tax
Yeah.
on us
I
businesses
know.
to make us look bad.
Yeah.
Really, it makes us look bad when you say here. Instead of saying here's your visible sales tax, which really, that's what should be done.
yeah, it should be done.
But then the government will have so much money. You know that? If you said, okay, right now, instead of having this 5% BPR, which is like a misnomer when you say business privilege tax. Anybody who thinks it's a privilege to do business on Guam has not had to deal with the government.
That's right.
So if you said, here, you spend $10, 5%, 50 cents, right? Me, I just put that 50 cents in the bank. I go on about spending my money out of that $10 to pay whatever. Now, I have to pay a 5% hidden tax, okay? So if my business is bad or anything else, that tax, I have to pay it no matter
That's right.
what. It wasn't on top of my sales, it was inside my sales.
Yeah.
And here, in the restaurant especially, prices are just going up
Oh,
all
my
the
God.
time. With every fuel increase, the cargo goes up. If I bring a pallet of frozen goods here, it costs me $1,000 for the freight.
Wow. How big is a container?
I think that's the dry. I think frozen's $2,000.
Yeah, I would say frozen's more than that.
Yeah, frozen was like maybe $2,000 and $1,000 for dry goods to bring here from the States.
Yeah, yeah.
And why isn't the government promoting fishing
or farming.
or farming.
Yeah.
You know, why can't Guam produce something?
Or a
Guam
chicken
could
ranch
produce
or some
something.
eggs.
A cannery.
What is a university doing that they can't be educating people and providing programs? I'm sure the federal money's there. But you look at all the time, they say, oh, we had to lose this money because the funds lapsed, or
Yeah.
we couldn't fulfill it because nobody could do the paperwork. You know? That's a problem.
Yeah.
It is.
How do you change it? I
We
mean-
had a pretty good idea, Jeff, to start an industry on Guam. And,
Which one?
And maybe it's been in the works for a while, but we wanted to definitely get with people to start the cannabis industry and start growing that as far as a destination for tourism.
Cannabis?
Yeah, cannabis.
That's a good idea. They're doing it everywhere. People won't come to Guam now because they can't get any weed.
Exactly.
You know, they're in Colorado or
Yeah.
they're in Washington. These are nice, cool, intellectual states where they figured it all out. But on Guam,
Yeah.
we can't even open up a lab to test
Well,
it.
one of the problems a couple of those states have is what to do with this massive bundles of money.
Yeah.
The banking system, the Federal Reserve won't let them do business because it's federally against the law. But so they have literally millions of dollars in cash laying around.
Our politicians would figure that out.
That's what I mean. If everybody needs bags of cash, here's
No,
bags
but the
of
feds
cash.
are eventually going to have to let it come in.
They'll
you know,
have to do something.
I mean, there's too much money involved.
Trump's-
You know, leave it sitting
Yeah,
out there.
people see
You know.
anybody in power will be like, whoa,
And-
wait, billions? Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
And just to update all the viewers watching, we bring up this subject because our neighbors to the north, Saipan, is on a special initiative to fully legalize cannabis, probably by the end of the year. So they got it going on. They
Or at least they're trying.
yeah, they're
something.
trying. It's in
I don't know how it's
legislation.
gonna.
No, they're going to do it. You
They're gonna
watch.
do it, yeah.
Sure, they're liberal up there. They like, money.
Well, I'll tell you what, as soon as their tourism increases by 50% because of it,
It will.
from whatever demographic that decides to visit,
Well, we had the ideas, and we've talked about
I
this
mean, it's a tropical paradise.
before. One of the initiatives that GVB is pushing is this whole alternative lifestyle tourism from Asia, because apparently some of these people are into that. But guess what? If you have that, if that's going to go through, you have cannabis legislation, because these people want to come to Guam and party and have a good time. You know, they're also going to want to kick back on the beach and have a nice,
Whatever their
stiff
choice
one.
is, you know.
As they watch the waves and,
No,
and
it's
chill.
fine. I mean, it's been proven not to be as harmful as alcohol and, other things. So, let people enjoy it.
Exactly.
But I tell you the truth about tourism. Now, this is 5 acres here that I work with. It's always clean. It's always in very tip-top shape. The ocean. I rescue people here all the time that get in trouble. I've dedicated some funding to that. And it's done right. When you look at Tumon, it's not really getting clean. It's not really, the hotels themselves are getting run down. I believe that money they're paying to the GVB tax, half of it should be given back to them with the promise that they'll
Yeah.
renovate their places and
Yeah, I'm with
clean
that.
up the front.
Water blast and paint, man.
Make an ocean view. Everywhere in Tumon have an ocean view. Actually, I think that should be around the island. I think all this thing should not be just cut down. We should grow something there. Zoyska grass that doesn't
Yeah.
need to be cut. Something.
Trees.
They're continually cutting the lines, around the lines and all that. Why not just pull that thing and hang it out? It can be done.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody goes around this island and picks up the rocks that are out hanging half into the road or the trash that's been there for 30 years. I mean,
Yeah.
and nobody wants to do it. What is GVB supposed to be doing? To me, they should concentrate on repeat business. That's
sounds
all
like-
they should be doing.
They just want to, or I don't know this, but it feels like they only want to spend it on more advertising. And because that's the simple way to do it. You don't have to get dirty. You stay in your air-conditioned office, you email somebody about online promotions and advertisement and sales and stuff, and nobody does anything to the island.
Yeah.
You just keep advertising.
they're like, okay, come join us for a trade show in Taipei.
Talking about stuff
You've got to pay
not
us
outside.
$600 for your table, and here's your bill for your hotel, and here's what you. It's a setup. It's a trade show.
It's a way to spend
and it
money
doesn't
and keep
even
someone
work.
employed.
It doesn't work. I mean, right now we should be concentrating on the Koreans. See all these customers here? They're all
The
Koreans.
Koreans. And they're all FITs too.
Well, they rent a car.
Yeah, they rent a car.
That's why
Exactly.
you need more signage and better roads.
Yeah.
They also come to Pirates Cove. There's no public transportation to go around this island for many years. Did you realize those 2 bridges in Mauricio were down for 7 years?
7 years?
So no big bus could go around this island for 7 years?
Was it that long?
That's ludicrous, man.
They just opened them up recently.
Oh my goodness.
So that means that me, who had tourists coming on buses before,
Yeah.
they stopped coming.
Wow.
Now they would have to go all the way and then come all the way back.
Right.
Coke is hurt from that. Many businesses hurt from that. All over, small-time issues with public works employees that weren't trusted, with landowners that could have been settled in a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's only money,
That's right.
and you can only get so much.
Yeah.
So you just get it over with, you know? But that's an example of how commerce can be affected. Lam Lam had a bus that would go around the island 4 times a day, from Micronesia Mall to GPO and whatever. They had an accident where somebody got hurt. That
They
bridge
stopped.
went out. They haven't been here ever since.
Wow. Not even a trolley or.
There's nothing. No, the trolleys. They say the accident was caused because they weren't using the big, safe bus that was built and designed to go around the south. They say the accident happened because.
But yet everybody else makes it around all the time.
Well, right. I mean, but still, GVB should be having some type of bus service, even for people who want to go to work.
Yeah.
Down to Mon
Yeah, I
that live in the
agree.
south, you know.
The traffic
or-
gridlock, it doesn't have to be like that either. 90% of the people are going to the same area, and there's one person in every car. You know, I don't know. There's a lot. This place has so much potential, but you got to get the money into the hands of people that will
Well, we got to change the leadership, basically.
put it
Or
to
get
use
new-
the way
Well,
it's
we got to
intended.
change the philosophy
Yeah,
too.
it's
You
a
know,
mindset.
what you really need, and I hate to say it, but you need to have like an inspector general come
Yeah,
in
somebody
here
has to say,
and
where did these funds
analyze
go?
everything.
And what happened?
And
to
let's have some repercussions. I don't believe in putting everybody in jail.
Yeah.
But I don't think they should continue handling the money either.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. Yeah, you don't have to you don't have to kill someone over
No public
what
flogging,
they did.
please.
Actually, that might not be too bad. You don't have to kill them, but certainly take their responsibilities away. Don't let the same guy keep doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
nobody's right. There's no truth. So you know that's what you're
All
caught
right,
with.
that's
You're caught
another-
in that. You know.
It's another evolution of society, right? My truth.
Well, we definitely have a big challenge this year with the elections too. So, you know, everybody out there, you know, listening to the conversation today, you know, the power falls onto you as the voter, and being educated and these candidates like Jeff was talking about, you know, you taking them on their word, asking them, you know, what's going on, what is your platform, what are you going to do to change things, and then instead of talking, what are the things that are tangible that will effectively fix a lot of the issues that we're faced with as people that live on our beautiful island, because it's been too long, and it's like a revolving door. It just keeps happening and happening.
Yep.
What is the one that always sticks in my mind is hope. Politicians promising hope. Right?
How can they give you hope?
This is what Camacho did.
You have.
I don't know if you remember. We're going to give you hope for the future. What is new? We're going to give you change for the future.
Yeah.
Is that loose change or petty cash? I mean, what is, you know, why don't we just say, okay, we're going to privatize the government. We're going to keep those employees that don't want to retire. You know what I mean? We're going to make life different, and we're going to make everybody work for their money.
Yeah.
And we're going to reduce
We'd like a results-oriented government.
Well,
public health.
concrete.
Public health is over 9,500 inspections behind.
Yeah. See, we haven't had monthly health inspections for 20 years.
Yeah.
Which for me you know, I don't need it
It's
because
not-
I got people here that know the rules and go to the
Follow
courses and keep this
sanitation,
place really
you know.
clean and, you know, right up. But I go down to Hmong, I see many Asian-run restaurants. They're clueless. They don't know anything till the health inspector come and tell them.
Yeah,
You
that's
cannot
right.
do this. You cannot have your birds hanging out here on the back step in a wash basin. You know, you cannot. That's the only
Refrigerate that
time they
chicken.
learn anything.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, health inspector-wise alone, I think they're short about 30.
I believe
And you
that.
got tourists coming here. They want to eat safe foods. How many times you hear,
Oh,
I
yeah.
got sick eating here and I got sick eating there, you know, and that kind of stuff, you know. Even you don't hear about it that much, but you know it happens.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's all because of conditions, you know what I mean? And the refrigeration and, you know, you keep food hot or cold. That's it, you
Yeah.
know. You
It's
don't,
hot, cold, or dying.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, Guam.
Welcome.
Guam is the best, you know. There's no place like it. I can never leave it. I mean, I don't want to.
Why would you? Look at this.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, vitamin C.
That's right.
Yep, and I tell you, my only problem here is the government.
Yeah.
Running the business, running my life. You know, I graduated from George Washington High School with a very good education. I have had to send my children to private schools,
That's right.
all my grandchildren
My
to
kids
private
had to go to
schools,
private school.
for me to feel that they're getting the education I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
That isn't fair. I'm still paying taxes for all the
it's not.
people that go to public schools, yet I got to spend another $6,000, $8,000 a year for each of my dependents to
month.
go to school. Yeah, in some places
It's
it gets that
Just
heavy,
to
yeah.
pretty
make
high.
sure that.
You know, we can do the best thing we can for them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's no reason the system here can't work. It's the politics that hold it back.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to have special accountants here just to monitor the money.
I know. You
And
know, an
the dump, they
educated.
can't close the dump up there because they don't trust anybody to run that.
Yeah.
As applied, you know, it's just, you need to make everything private here. If that's what's going to work.
That dump
And then
was
you're
an
going to have
issue when
all
I
that
came
extra
here
money too, you know,
30
because you're
years
going to
ago.
get that income tax.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where the government's missing it. You want more money? Get more private sector going so you get that tax money.
And like Chris said, private sector is result driven. So there's timelines. There is, you know, certain.
There's costs.
Yeah.
You can't operate inefficiently or your business fails.
Because in a private business, if you do.
I can't just write a fake
Yeah.
check.
And if I don't do the job I'm supposed to, guess what? I'm fired.
I can't pull from your company to pay for my
Yeah,
company.
and it's done. Next person in.
Yeah.
Hence, pushing the envelope, making things better, learning, and developing. Privatize people out there that are running for office. Come on, you can do this.
Hopefully. Well, I mean, think, vote, get involved. Talk to the people that you're
Well,
electing.
what do you think about the military voting?
Military that's stationed here.
Well, of course.
Yeah, why not?
What do you think of that, Chris?
Well, like, we keep all their taxes.
Yeah, and we get to vote for president as well.
Not only do we keep their taxes, they live under the same conditions
That's right.
we do.
They put up with all the
okay?
crap we put up with.
They have the water problems we do, the power fluctuations we do, they travel the roads that we do.
That's right.
They have taken care of their own as far as their housing and their own commissary and all the hospitals and everything they could do to get away from dealing with Gov Guam.
Yeah,
But outside the gate, they're subject to the third world conditions we are
That's
here
right.
too.
That's a good way. This is like a third world country within America.
And if they
Right.
want to live here and they want to claim residency, I even think they should give them dual residency. Because a lot of people own land in Kentucky or
Right.
Maine or whatever. They want to lose their residency there because it might be a benefit on taxes like Alaska.
Yeah.
And eventually
So I
they might
think
go
while
home
they're
or
here
whatever.
and they're paying taxes, they should be able to vote here. Otherwise, it's taxation without representation.
Yeah.
exactly. Nice.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, tax me, you gotta listen to me.
It makes sense. Have you gotten any requests like that in your conversation?
Just with myself.
Just with yourself? he's out here on the beach,
Yeah.
chilling,
Never
Working
beach
it
when you're
out,
on the
you know,
beach.
working it
with
out.
a fishing line going, I wonder if the military could do this.
No,
I'll
I've
tell you
always
what.
thought that it's a good idea because, I
Don't-
mean, how many people on Guam are related to the military? It's like
Oh, a lot.
everybody.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
employees joined the military. I mean, why are they joining the military? Get away from Guam.
For
Get
a
away,
better
Get
opportunity.
out of here.
Yeah. I mean, that's not good. But the military that are here, that are stuck here, you should allow them to be able to change things. And then when these people want to come back, it'll be better.
Man, that's a good point. We
For
keep their money,
benefits.
but don't listen to their. Don't let
They
them vote.
make up like $30 million worth of the general fund.
I'll tell you what, if that happened, that this conversation would be totally different. Meaning the way that Guam's future would be set up with that extra voting populace added to the mix. Whoa.
Yeah, I can see Lou and Ray and them going out and
Oh, man.
telling the military all their BS and expecting to be believed.
We're going to have hamburger and hot dog day for everyone.
Yeah.
Hamburger and hot dogs for everyone. Amazing.
Yeah, it's there's issues, but like Jeff said, though, this is such a wonderful place. You
Yeah.
know.
I think the other thing that's on the table too, locally, is not only privatization of these government agencies, but independence for the island itself. I've seen some media being talked about that within certain circles, people trying to push
Okay,
this
so
initiative.
what do you think
That
about
scares me though.
Yeah, it's a little, because they did a whole debate at it the UOG.
It's not because I don't believe it could or should be.
With
it's
all the-
because who you gonna?
Yeah, with all the candidates, the
Oh
thing
my
that
God.
gets me
Who
though
would you trust?
is when they were doing this one Guam. Nobody really answered the question how they're going to do it. They
Yeah.
kind of did it more for this is a picture op, and I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, so you like me and vote for me. There was nothing real that I saw that I could walk away with going, wow, this is really going to benefit, everybody.
Yeah, what would the governor do?
Well,
know.
I think it would be a good idea if you could change the political face,
Yeah.
because I ran as an independent, like I was saying, when I ran for governor, and when people would ask me that question, I would say I really do believe it should happen, but it should be a defined, incorporated territory of the United States, sovereign to the United States, protected by the United States.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Like that.
Agreed.
Because just cutting loose
Yeah.
and floating out here isn't the way to do it.
We can't even have a fishing industry. I mean, if it wasn't for the military,
No.
we wouldn't have half of what we have here.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
And if we had a better understanding and relationship with the military, we would all have both more things for each other.
Yes, I agree with that too.
Yeah.
We're like they're there and we're here when it comes to politics, and I don't like that at all. And I don't think the military trusts the government.
That's
All the broken promises.
Man, what a great point.
Yeah.
And there it is, right at the gate, right? Right where where you're allowed to do, and I can't mess with you, and vice versa. And it's two worlds right there.
At the gate.
You know where the time that people got along most I ever saw was right after Typhoon Karen. That was 1962. There was the worst typhoon that ever hit Guam. Devastated the island because so many of the roofs were tin and there was hardly any concrete.
Everybody's home.
But the military came out to this community and they helped, put in tents and open food, and people were allowed to go onto Camp Azan and eat, and you know what I mean? It was
Wow.
it was a revelation,
Yeah.
And now the politicians want to separate us. They more and more, and I really don't like that. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
think I'm with you on that.
Yeah, why be separated?
So much more could be done together than apart.
The politicians, they find ways to criticize, I mean, the military's mission is their mission. They're not going to stop. And we're going to have to deal with it, or if we can stop it, then maybe we will. But otherwise,
yeah, that
we need to
machine-
get
that ball's
along,
rolling.
and we need to always have everybody together, not just like a token picnic or, a cleanup day where they come out and help us. We need all the time, a friendship,
Yeah.
positive stuff.
Maybe some military representation in the legislature itself.
That'd be cool, huh?
Maybe as a as a witness
That's a really great
or
idea.
somebody overwatching the happenings, and they can
Or at least
report.
contributing.
Watch that overwatching.
Yeah, at least contributing to, or partaking of, inputting information to.
And
you
it's
know.
it's a tangible change that's just not lip service. You actually see a body there, and it's like, okay, here's the guy in the white,
Answer
uniform.
some questions. Tell us some information. Answer our
here.
questions. Yeah.
Because a lot of times we get surprised too much in our community, where it's like the beginning of the year with this scare tactic with all the money that was missing. It was just like nobody saw this coming. It was just, hey everybody, we're 80 million short. FYI, here goes all the taxes. It's like, really, you got people in these different
Employed at
agencies
every level.
that you cannot foresee that this thing is starting to curl like a big wave.
They use it. You gotta understand that, that can cover up all their other problems when they blame it on that. That's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
That's $67 million. I don't think that's a huge amount of money here. Nobody knows how much money actually comes into this government.
Exactly.
Nobody knows how it's channeled.
It's a
Nobody
great
knows
place to be
who's
a
touching it on the
politician.
way down.
And the more variables there are, the more things that I can point to as
Possibilities.
maybe, I don't know, sure,
Yeah.
this,
What's
that,
the priority?
Plausible deniability.
Well, somebody knows,
Somebody knows.
and those people don't talk.
I got another shirt that says, "I'm not in denial."
I'm
It's
not
like
in
Guam
denial.
one.
I'm not in
I
denial.
like that.
My taxes came out. I'm good.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, here we are. Governor's office fought this tax
4
thing,
million.
No. This is, never mind that. This is like the income tax. You remember this? Have you been here forever like me?
Sort of, yes.
See, me, I read 4 newspapers and online and listen to all the stations, and everything, right? So the government really is the problem with, we don't want to pay this tax back, the income tax. That income tax is people's money.
Yeah.
But they spent millions, and people finally sued them and spent millions more. And to this day, they're using it as, congratulations, we're sending you your income tax this week, $4 million. After all they did was stop us from getting it, 6 years I couldn't get my tax back.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been here long enough for that. I changed my W-2s a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay you $100
Yeah.
than you owe me $10,000.
I'm really sad to make too much money now. I really am.
Yeah.
My personal income tax last year, I gave to this government $22,000.
Wow.
And just tell me what they did with that money.
Yeah.
That was half
Where
of
did
somebody's
it go?
salary.
I mean, and how many other people? You see, the businesses here,
Quarter or
they
something.
should be nurtured and really helped
They're
as
the
much as
revenue
possible.
center.
Yeah, and they hire people and they do things right. But instead, the business is bad,
Taxes and fees.
And you know what? I think it came from the old Spanish days. Because I think the store owners and everything like that really treated all the people bad. I really do believe that.
Okay.
And I believe a lot of what happened after 1898, that was the Spanish-American
Right.
War, the same people remained in charge of the businesses. And they continue
Yes,
to
they
burn
did.
everybody. But today's life, you have a different businessman who cares about the people and their employees and everything like that.
Yeah.
But to the government, the business is bad, those guys, don't be nice to them, they're ripping you off.
Let's tax them some more.
Those guys make money.
Those are my
Tax
relatives.
Well, everything's a circle, man. Cycles and circles. It happens. And hopefully when this one comes around, we're smart enough to make a slight change in the arc.
We'll get it right one day. And definitely this year is another chance.
Opportunity.
No, I think, when is the cutoff? The 26th of June,
Yeah.
right?
To pick up your packet.
We
pick up
gotta
your
get
package.
Klitsky to run for governor and get
Man.
somebody with him. I thought Doris was gonna do it, but she's gonna
It's a
do
one guy,
something
the
else,
shining
With
example.
the Congress.
At least as long as I've been here, 30 years. Bob Klitsky, man.
No, if you think of one person,
Does
Bob
what he says.
Klitsky, Bob
Yeah.
Klitsky, they're calling you out, buddy.
Oh, he
The
knows.
one person.
We're not the first people to.
Yeah.
that would make it happen
Cheer him
right
on.
is him. And I am.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm wishing he would.
Maybe we should get him. Does he ever come down here, Bob Klitzky?
What? He's one of my great customers forever.
Can
Him
we
and his
get-
wife Lou and everybody.
Can we get Bob, yourself, and us, and maybe talk to him and maybe do
No,
a little?
that's up to him, not me. You know?
Maybe do a little
he's
show.
got his own agenda. I love the guy, but I'm not gonna.
He
Let
has a
me-
show
let me
too,
ask
doesn't
him.
he?
No, that's Ken Leon Guerrero.
I don't know. Maybe he was sitting in for somebody, but I saw.
No,
I heard
Klitzky's
him on
been
the
on
show.
the media a lot.
Yeah.
And he's right. He goes after like the CLUC because he knows the law.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of people you need to help you do things. Not the same opinion going by that isn't right.
Gosh, man, the one guy you wish could be a career politician, the one out of all, and he's the only one that believes in the true spirit of the, of legislation is to not be a career politician.
That's why he's the one.
He's the only guy we want to do it.
He's old enough.
Yeah.
Let him do it.
Ex-senator. Ex-senator.
Yeah. And
excellent.
by all accounts, liked by everybody. Because everybody, I say everybody, both sides. The Dems don't hate him, the Republicans don't hate him.
when
because
he
he
was-
does what he says he's going to do.
When he was a senator, he watched his budget.
That's
he
right.
didn't have all this glamour going on. He did things right for the people.
He was transparent with
Right
his
for the people.
expenditures.
That's what we need.
Yeah. People. I'm with that.
Write him in, folks, if you're watching. Bob
people.
Klitzky. And if you know him, call him and let him know.
Tell him to get in there.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, again, we're down here at Jeff's Pirates Cove, ladies and gentlemen that are tuning in. Again, this is the Howard Experience Show, Mindhead Series, with Chris Shelton and our special guest, Jeff, the man, the icon, gave us a little talk story today on his views. And, we'll continue to do this, hopefully with other people in the community soon. And maybe we'll do a follow-up show later on. We'll ask him, but
It's tough to find a better venue.
this is like...
pretty outstanding.
This is a lot better than my studio, that's for sure. But thank you very much for the talk, sir.
You're
And
welcome.
Is there
My
anything
pleasure.
else?
Sorry it's been so long since I've seen you, but it's a pleasure always.
Anything else you want to say to the viewers out there?
All I want to say is work for change, make things better, be a little liberal. Don't take everything as it is and swallow it. Let's go with something better. And work on privatizing the utilities because they're not helping you. They're
Yeah.
working against you. Your appliances are being destroyed by the feed. The water quality is not good. We're paying a lot for it. Force the agencies to do their job.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
There you go, folks.
Adios.
He's out and we're out, and we're going to have another Cerveza before we split. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the show. Peace out. Remember to free your mind. Later.